Right from the 1960s, when Nigeria got its independence, the first coup, corruption was mentioned.
As in, how can the people now contribute in this fight against corruption?
When you look at it, fighting of corruption is not one man business. It's a teamwork. It's a teamwork. If we can come together and fight corruption, we can bury everything overnight.
As a citizen of Nigeria,
what can be done to make the society better? You know, as a woman here, you know, as a mother.
The society doesn't want to give these women opportunities because they think these women can come and dominate the role men play in the society.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the program, The Advocate. My name is Jack Vincent Fidelis and I'm your host. On The Advocate, on a weekly basis, we bring in guests to discuss issues of anti-corruption and issues of accountability in governance. Today, I have a very special guest. My guest is Ambassador Ahmed Shehu. He is the chairman Northeast Civil Society Coalition. Sir, you are welcome.
It's nice having you.
How would you describe the functions and activities of the civil society to an average Nigerian?
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. Well, the civil society, everyone is a civil society. So the role of the civil society in the country or in any community is to speak as the voice of the voiceless, is to represent the interests of the community, meaning they are critical stakeholders, people that form themselves into a coalition or into a group that are legally recognized and they can advocate for themselves, their interests and their protection. That is the essence of civil society. Currently, there are little changes between how the civil societies are and how the NGO are, of which is a subject of discussion in the course of the program we'll discuss. But actually, the role of the civil society is to represent the interests of their community or a group of people that decided to say, okay, let's come together to fight the common cause. That is the civil society.
Thank you very much. You see, Nigeria is bedeviled by problems, a whole lot of it. Problems of lack of almost everything. Lack of good roads, lack of electricity, lack of the right schools for our kids, and all these things. Has the civil society been living up to its name in terms of demanding from government that these things be put aright?
I think what brought even the civil society are those issues that you mentioned.
Good.
Looking back memory lane, you will see that you have less number of civil society, but as people get educated and enlightened, they decided that, okay, there is need for us to take our destiny in our own hand. And how do you do that? In an organized society is for you to come together to form yourself into a kind of a forum that is legally recognized, that you have the mandate as stated in the Constitution, you have the freedom of movement, of expression, the freedom of you asking for information that you should be given, and then this is the essence of people coming together to form the civil society. As of now, you see a lot of civil society organizations springing up because people are getting aware. For instance, who provide the road, the hospital, the drugs, all these are elected representatives. Then who hold the elected representative responsible? It has to be not an individual. It will hold a lot of water when a group comes up to ask an elected representative about his stewardship. For instance, in this community, we have the right to ask the governor to give us his stewardship. We have the right to ask for the budget of the Borno State government. We have the right to ask for Maiduguri Metropolitan Council how the money was spent as an entity.
Having these rights, have you been able to use it over the years?
Definitely.
Have you asked the government of these things? to be accountable to the people? Have you done this?
Yes. I think this is a very interesting question. It's a time for us to even blow our trumpet with this question.
Please do.
What we observe is lack of transparency and accountability in government is as a result of lack of system on the ground. For instance, let me give you one example. If a government, for instance, want to build a studio like this, what it entails is the manager for it to demand for government to send anyone that they want to construct, and then so be it, you have studio. But the actual process that is recognized by the law is through following the procurement process. It means if you want a government need to buy anything or construct anything, one, it has to advertise a tender for people to bid. When people bid, then the lowest amount will be selected, then it will be vetted, then the contract will be signed, monitoring will be ensured. Once it follows all the process that we are talking of, you will see that project and then services are rendered as when desired.
Well, what you just explained is due process.
Exactly.
Is due process being followed? That is what Nigeria.
Exactly. To be candid, I have to give credit to the Borno State government. Within this 6 months of the government of this governor, we have pushed him, and right now as I'm talking to you, over 5 different laws was already passed by the House of Assembly. The one I'm always happy to point out is the procurement law. Now in Borno State, it has already endorsed. It means henceforth every parastatal of a government, if they want to buy anything or construct anything, it has to go through the due process. And due process is not about statement that you can say, I'm following due process. No, it has to be a system on ground for people to follow. For us as a civil society, we cannot hold you accountable unless there is this bill. When there is this bill, then we have the right to ask. It means, okay, how does this station constructed? We want to know. Okay, bidding process took place with due process. Let's see who are the contractors. Then we can see, we can even follow. So I think currently, as we are talking with the Chief Judge of Borno State during the anti-corruption program the day before yesterday, he stated that right now he has about 14 different laws that was already passed for him to accept, sent to him by the governor, meaning something is happening. But if you look at it back, there is nothing on this as a process. And this thing could not have happened if there are no push from the civil society, both local and then international. Even international partners, for you to go into recessions, I have to push you to say, okay, you really need to have like some system and due process on ground before we go into a relationship with you.
That's really good to know. I'm happy the civil society in Borno State, if I'm taking your word for it, has been doing very well, and that's commendable. Now, this same civil society organization which you chair, what in essence, okay, has the civil society organization that you chair, what in essence has this very civil society done for the masses? What has it really done? This is me giving you a platform to blow your trumpet again.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Jal, for this wonderful opportunity. Well, glory be to God, we came on board when I was elected as the first chairman. The first thing we did is to it's not easy when something is not there for you to make it very visible. So we went ahead to start stakeholders engagement. As I'm talking to you right now, the civil society has a seat in the United Nations here. Every meeting that is taking place with all the partners, the civil society is there. Not only there, warming the seat, but we are there representing the interests of the affected population. When there are issues of, for instance, issue of corruption happening, issue of IDF being shortchanged, issue of lack of accountability to the affected population happening, we bring it to the table and we ensure that the right thing were done. Taking you back to memory lane 3-4 years ago, when this insurgency was started, you see the internet display people don't get enough food. You will see diversion in the night happening in the camps. So what we did was we really engaged the internet displaced people, formed them into a kind of a structure. We call them IDP ambassadors. We make them into leadership in every camp for them to blow trumpet, to blow the whistle when they see something happening. And that drastically went to a process to reduce it. As I'm talking to you now, there are not much friction between us and then the State Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and SEMA before. Because initially the system is people are comfortable in doing the wrong thing. But we started pushing, and right now we have a relationship where those carrying one will be brought to book, and then the society is benefiting from it. Besides this, also how we serve the community is initially we have only 750,000 people.
You will have opportunity to tell us some more, because that is the much you can take on this first segment of the program. Well, viewer, if you are still with us, the program is The Advocate, a program designed to deliberate on issues of anti-corruption and issues of accountability in governance. My guest has been good. My guest has been wonderful. You will hear more from him when we come back from the break.
Right from the 1960s, when Nigeria got its independence, the first coup, corruption was mentioned.
As in, how can the people now contribute in this fight against corruption?
When you look at it, fighting of corruption is not one man business. It's a teamwork. It's a teamwork. If we can come together and fight corruption, we can bury everything overnight.
As a citizen of Nigeria,
What can be done to make the society better? As a woman here, as a mother.
The society doesn't want to give these women opportunities because they think these women can come and dominate the role men play in the society.
Welcome back. The program is The Advocate, and my guest, Ambassador Ahmed Shehu, Chairman, Northeast Civil Society Coalition. Sir, it's really nice having you. Now, the question is, what can be done to effectively curb corruption and lack of accountability in governance? Having said everything you've said so far, what solution can we provide?
Okay, from the civil society angle, you can't give what you don't have.
That's true.
As a citizens, as a society, the northeast part of the country, we have our disadvantage. Being educationally backward, being all these years of lack of good governance has really translated into making the community so docile in terms of asking for accountability from the communities. So with this in mind, excuse me, the first thing to do is to sensitize the general public. The first thing to do is to sensitize the general public. Sensitizing them for them to understand what are the telltale signs of even corruption. Because corruption has been made into a system that it is just perceived as a normal part of life. Go to the working place, if you do not give something, your file will be hidden under the carpet. You write exam, if you do not give money, the lecturer will hide your screen. If even in our house, it happens.
So how do we tackle these things?
One, by sensitization. We really need to understand what is even the corruption. Once people know that this act is corruption, they will start saying no to it.
You must have a medium to sensitize the people.
Exactly.
Are you using the broadcast medium or using broadcast media? Are you doing town hall meetings? Are you gathering people in the markets, village square marketplaces?
So currently,
how do you do it?
Currently, what we started as a civil society is to start using the community-based organizations.
Good.
Because they're closer to the communities.
That's true.
We now build their capacity and they will be going to door to door to be sensitizing the people on how to say no when there's issue of corruption. And generally now there are a lot of improvement in that as the people are beginning to get aware to say no. Once you say no, I say no. The person benefiting from me, however it is, will start realizing.
Have a rethink.
Exactly. You have a rethink, and then maybe you start desisting from this act. Then strengthening our law is also very crucial to that. I think I have to use this opportunity to give credit to the Nigerian Bar Association. 2 days of Maiduguri and Biu brand, they organized a Northeast town hall meeting where the theme is how to fight corruption in Borno State. And there are a lot of outcomes from that conversation that even entails on dismissal of either judicial officers or the lawyers that like participated or tried to like hide or sweep the corruption issue under the carpet. So once we straighten the penalties, once people know that this is the repercussion for going into corruption, they will desist from doing it.
It's interesting that you mentioned penalties.
Yeah.
These people, has anybody been penalized because of corruption?
Yes,
to dissuade others from indulging in it?
Actually, to be honest, I can commend the Northeast, the zonal office of the EFCC and Economic and Financial Corruption. There are high-level people that committed corruption and they were faced to face the wrath of the law. Currently, there are a lot of cases from there. There are a lot that even from our civil society that we call their attention and they are handling it. But the issue, looking at the number of those people that are corrupt, handling one or two is nothing to write home about, but at least as an agency, some little effort has been made to address the situation.
In terms of development, we don't seem to have scored very well in any indices. That's just the honest truth. And there's reason for this. Corruption.
Yeah.
Corruption has succeeded in taking our nation several centuries beyond civilization, which is not a good thing. And now, what can the government do from your experience, from the wealth of your experience? What can the government do to take Nigeria from the level we are to the level we aspire to be?
Okay, as we said, everyone knows the main problem of Nigeria is corruption. The president has this slogan that once you handle corruption, everything will fall into place. The corruption has become so much into our system that we felt it is normal. Everyone thinks everything that is happening is just normal. You executed a contract, following all the due process. When you go to finally clear out, you have a token that you are ready to give. It has become a system that we just think it's just a gift that we do or that we give people. For us to get it right, the commissions, suddenly the responsibility need to be strengthened, like EFCC, ICPC, and so on and so forth. Once they are strengthened, they cannot work together. There must be a framework where there are interagency collaboration. Right now, you can see if you are following the trend in the nation, a governor, a minister that was corrupt was questioned by EFCC, was arrested. You see a court order. You understand there are no coordination between the government agencies. And all this
that's really not a good thing.
It has come to the law. It means the House of Assembly, the will fall into places. In 1 or 2 days, judgment will be passed, and then before you know it, the law will take its course.
Thank you very much. It's obvious if I allow you, you have a lot to say about this issue, which is a very good thing. And now, because of time, I just want you to take this last question. You are a member, you are the leader of the civil society in the Northeast, which is a very good thing. And then I want to know from you, because we hear stories of the humanitarian organizations indulging in corrupt practices. I want to know if there is anything the civil society is doing to correct this anomaly.
Well, when we found ourselves in this insurgency, there are no actually law in place.
It would be nice to give us this answer in 60 seconds because of time.
Okay, when we found ourselves in this issue, there are no law in place for people to fit in and then do their things. You'll see people coming without proper documentation and start doing their own things. And so we observe that there are a lot of issues happening. People will come and start implementing projects or just providing services to communities without even the community knowing what kind of services they are offering. And you cannot ask people to be accountable to you since you don't know how much it was given to them, since you don't know how much they are here to spend in your community. But with this, I think we ask for a reform on that. And right now, we have even a sector on accountability to the affected population. Meaning you just have to come and then tell the people what you want to give them before even you start. And now currently we have a new law, an agency was established, of which we are members there as a committee by Borno State, where every actor that will be implementing from next month must register, must also ensure that this is what I have to give community A, and this is the total number of people I will be feeding. With this, I think corruption will be handled. And those people that are not supposed to be here, there are even those other people that came to Nigeria without even registration. And now all this process will check, and they will ensure that there are less corruption, and they should change it of the internet displaced people.
I can't wait to bring you back to the program. It's obvious we have a lot to discuss, but we don't have all the time. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate your presence.
Thank you very much.
Viewer, that is the much we can take on the program for this week. If you've had a good time listening to us, I guess we can do it again, same time, same station next week. Until then, so long.